Okay, well, here it is, December the 10th, on a Tuesday. I'm back for just a few minutes, or maybe 10. Years ago, I had to hit a job site, and there had been a minor dispute on this site. But anyway, I had to meet my boss there, and I did, and some city people. And we were looking it over, and it was being explained to me that some of the things, excavations that were going to go on, and that the hardship would be trying to coordinate with the railroad. There was 2 tracks there, and the traffic was very heavy, and that I had to have permission anytime I had a crane up, tell them what was going on, anything that could go across this 25-foot demarcation line that we had to purchase but couldn't use. And I couldn't even pull a piece of equipment in there without the railroad being notified way ahead of time. Bad news. And even to walk up to the tracks was not authorized without permission. So you can understand, when you're working with a railroad, they have guidelines and their internal laws, and they can be very bullheaded. So you're at their beck and call when it comes to something that they put in writing, and in this instance, they had the upper hand. The boss I had was a very wise person. He'd been around construction all his life too. Knew what it was going to take to get the job done, and not too far from where we were standing was the guy that was the boss of the laydown yard where we were standing. Used to be the railroad yard. He was extremely upset that it was sold to our company. My boss said, "You go over there, I want you to shake hands with him, make friends." That was going to be a big job. This guy, he was scowling, and he was not a small guy. So as I walked along, the guy spun around and down the tracks he started walking. And I yelled at him a couple times, and finally he stopped. And then he spun around, and then he was mad. When I caught up to him, which he'd made no way was he going to walk towards me, I had to walk to him. And when I got up there, I put my hand out and this big smile on my face and called him by name and told him who I was. And he didn't take my hand, not then. And I called him by name. I put my hand out there and smiled, and I put it closer to him. Finally, he took my hand and shook it. He didn't smile. But after a few minutes, I explained to him what I was going to be doing out there, and that our efforts of coordinating with each other would make it a lot smoother. And I just told him we'd meet in my office whenever. I would let him know when I was available, or when he could let me know when he's available. So we meet at mutual times. And that week, hopefully we could go down to the restaurant, which is a block away, then have a roll and a cup of coffee, and relaxed atmosphere, and talk through what was going to be necessary, the most important things for us. And he agreed. And that's what started out as something extremely upset. We'd come to a little bit of a mutual agreement. Not that anybody was giving in to anything. But during the course of our first meeting, we ended up making friends, as much as you can be for being somebody that's brand new, fresh on the block. But over the course of time, we did become very good friends. I was there for a year. We met on a regular basis. Sometimes we met in my office, and sometimes we went over to his office. He had a pretty nice office in a nice big brick building. So it was nice going there, because mine was always getting muddy from the job site and a lot of noise. But along the way, he introduced me to a lot of people, whether it be the chief of police, the fire department, the building department. He knew everybody. I mean, this was his town. And he'd worked for the railroad all his life. He was very oriented towards the railroad. That was his goals. And he could see that there was nothing he could do about me being there. But he made the life easier for me, is what happened, because we made friends. Life is that way. If you can meet somebody that's professional, regardless of either one of you are mad at the other one before you ever start, if you negotiate things and try to start out with a little bit of friendly things, whether it be a handshake and a smile and invitation for sitting down for something, whether it's coffee or it could be anything. Could it actually be a beer if that's what it takes? That's the way to do it. It's not who's going to win the game, because you're both going to play that game. And our bosses, I'm sure, were looking at us. And if we couldn't get the job done, one or both of us would have been gone, because the job was going to get done. The end result was this was going to be completed. And life, in real terms, should be that way. And the laws make it so. If we can, the law comes along and says, okay, this is what's going to be done. And you both could walk away not happy. It's better to negotiate it ahead of time than it is to go before a judge. So how do I relate this to real life? It has to do with the dispute that happened in Otter Creek between two neighbors. Now, one of them is a little overbearing. Influence and money, it's at his beck and call. The other one has very little. As a matter of fact, they have to ask for things. They have a sanctuary. It's a turtle sanctuary. Part of that is it is built on donations. It doesn't have a way to generate funds. It just doesn't. People with good hearts will come along and fund it because they believe in the same thing, in wildlife. And when I say turtle, I mean there's some tortoises out there that are huge. Well, they're big. And they're kind of neat. And I think their hope is that someday they could open it up so the public can see it. Because that was their intent originally, and let this thing grow. And they have a little daughter who is now 5 years old that they wish to bring into this thing and let this be her legacy down the line somewhere, that she would like it so well that she would continue this legacy. But when she got into it with this neighbor who was very influential, he decided to make an example of him. Now, there's a lot of stories around there, and there's been a lot of exaggerations. Most exaggerations came from one side. People came along and said, no, that's not so, and showed the real deal, the paperwork, the witnesses and stuff. But because of the influence of the one person, those people that he's influenced, they won't believe it. They won't look at it. They won't listen to it. And so when we're talking about negotiations, it won't happen. It can't happen. Because there's some people involved that shouldn't be involved. They're not unwilling to give up their side of the story. The only ones that really know the whole story are the people that were involved in the first place. But one of them is not going to give in any way. And it said as much. His intent is to break the other party. And he has said that. Financially, in any other way. He wants them run out. That's not negotiating, by the way. And so the only thing it was, eventually it led to a federal court case. So here's what I want to ask you. Now, this case revolves around some signs with some pretty nasty things or accusation on it. Now, those same accusations, social media has had a lot of it, okay? And most of it has been fair use or freedom of speech. But yet, the press cards, signs, the federal court is going to look at it for defamation. But we have all this other stuff around it. It's going to be hard to dispel this whole thing and get it settled down because it blew up so high. It's like a nuclear bomb going off. Children became involved in this thing for focal points so that people get ferocious. How dare you? Truths that were a molehill are mountains now. I feel bad for a lot of people that are involved, especially the innocent ones. I'm going to try to give you an example. Okay. This small town is 100 people, right? Now, right down the road from this one couple is a mother and daughter team. The mother had walked up to where there was some fence building going on to deliver some things that had been sent up. Shortly after that, a memorial disappeared from a property that happened to be on this guy that has a lot of influence and finances. So the person understood, no, that guy wouldn't do it. They just couldn't believe it in their heart because they were given permission. They could have it there as long as they wanted. So that wouldn't happen. The memorial was for something that happened 5 years ago. Their son was killed there, where this memorial was. When it disappeared, it broke her heart. It would break my heart. I lost a son. And to this day, it's hard to talk about him. And up till about a couple of years ago, it brought tears to my eyes to even think about it. Right? And it's been, up close to 20 years, 18 years, something like that. A parent never forgets it. When a child passes away, no matter what the circumstance, it's devastating. One of the worst things that a parent can think of, because we're governed to figure that we will go before our children will, because age. And then a circumstance like that where an accident happens and it's boom like that, in just a few minutes it's over. And the memorial helps bring back some good memories sometimes. You get down there and you think of holiday and so it happened around Thanksgiving or whatever it was. So they put a memorial up that they put there. It's nothing, no big thing. It doesn't take a lot of room for Christmas. A cross, a little bit of decoration around it. Took a picture. Came down there, and it was gone again. This mother, she didn't deserve that. And the only thing that she did was to walk up and deliver some things up the street to somebody this guy don't like, because they were building a fence. Whatever these items were for that person. I don't know if it was for the fence or what it was for. And walk back to their house. No, I'm not saying that guy did it, because in her heart, she says he wouldn't. Because he's the one who told her it was okay to have this stuff there. But he has a lot of followers. Would one of them do it? I don't know. Was it just a coincidence that happened twice? Well, that being taken down, that's no coincidence when it happens twice. Then it happens after she happens to go up to this person that's under this harassment and continual browbeating, and now in court. One would believe that probably is what happened. I don't know who did that, but an innocent party was hurt because of it. How does something like this, like a small dispute in that small town, grow to a federal case, and the people like that woman down the street that lost her son a memorial taken away from her that is utilized to bring back good memories, not bad memories. You know, when you lose somebody and you have something to remember them by, and you look at it, you see that person. You hear them. Sometimes you dream about them later. It breaks your heart that somebody would be so despicable to do that to that woman down there. You know, I've asked, why can't we have a little peace? You know, the holidays are here, and this deposition comes along, and it fires this thing up into a big bonfire. And it made it worse. More name calling, more fighting. I don't know if anybody out there can back off and say, hey, look, it's time for that smile and a handshake, and get it down to just where it's just going to be settled. Let this thing, the courts are handling it now. All of us around this bonfire is going around. We need to put the bonfire out. What if that was your mother? What if that deceased was your brother, son? How would you feel that something you had nothing to do with whatsoever could get to the point to hurt somebody like that? These same people, I mean, they love to come on channels like mine and call us names and do all kinds of stuff. And if they can find a Hercules heel, they'll use it on you. They go for it immediately. I don't know what's up here with those type of people, why they would do that. I don't go on their channel and call them names. If I have something to say, I go ahead and say it. But you tell me, what is wrong with a person that does stuff like that? The person that did that memorial, I mean, it goes beyond that. We have people that enjoy feasting on the carcass of what's going on right now. Well, I hope that this mother can get some kind of peace. She does not deserve treatment like that. She had nothing to do with this case whatsoever. You know, the one side is so worried their lives are being threatened, and they could go into this rant and raving at it. All it does is like starting a riot. Everybody gets upset, and they go wild. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just want you to think, if you were in that person's shoes over here, that mother, would you do that to her? Would you do it? Would you really? What would happen if somebody did it to you? You know, they would. The sister that went down there to take some pictures. It was there that morning, but it wasn't there when she got down there. How do you think she felt him to come back and say something about it was wrong again? I mean, how many times do we have to do something like that? It's despicable stuff like that. How many times? Can we not say we're not going to do it again? Can we just, I don't know, I implore whoever did that to back off and leave this poor woman alone. She did not do anything to you or anybody else. Leave innocent people alone. There's no words for it. For anybody out there that's followed this channel, I'm glad that you're not a party to this kind of crap. And you don't get involved in a lot of this name calling and stuff because it's not worth it. It just makes you feel bad. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's a channel out there, I guarantee you, 1 or 2 channels, that are going to make fun of me talking about this and pleading for you to stop. Stop making people feel so bad. Let the 2 neighbors get this thing done. The courts are handling it right now. And for you guys who want to make fun of it, I guess I can't stop you. What a shame. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. You talk about life sucks. Wow. And I guess, I'm so lucky. I've got a wife that I met in high school that I still have. And we enjoy a pretty good life. And if there's any downfall I see right now, it's this thing that's happening that is unconscionable. I tell you something, I know you're not proud of yourself for the things you did or pull, or you that like to make fun of other people. Unless that's your true character. Maybe it is. Maybe you don't deserve to have good people around you. Maybe all you need are the people that hate, that do these kind of stuff. For those people who are on the right side with the Lord, that want to do good, and do everything they can to see that the good people can have a decent life. For you, I'm thankful for. And I know that you're happy that way. For the rest of you, I hope you see the light. I don't know what else to say. I feel bad for some people, the innocent. Well, make light of it if you will. Make fun of it if you will. Now we know what you are.